city building or county building?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Tepfer. I'm the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio. Thank you all for coming. Today we are announcing a significant law enforcement action with the unsealing of several indictments charging over 30 individuals with violating numerous federal laws in this area. Today's indictments include charges for drugs and firearm violations, conspiracies, distribution of cocaine, distribution of methamphetamine, distribution of marijuana, and possession of firearms in furtherance of those crimes. Other defendants are also being charged with buying firearms illegally for those who are not permitted to have them. A press release with additional details will be available on our website later today. These apprehensions are the result of cross-agency strategy to curb and combat violent crime in and around the Akron area. I'd like to thank our partners in this effort, specifically John Smurglia, Acting Special Agent in Charge of the ATF Columbus Division, Chief Brian Harding of the Akron Police Department, Summit County Prosecutor Elliot Kolkovich, and Akron Mayor Shamus Malek for his support and resources in our efforts and for graciously allowing us to use this facility for today's announcement. Each indictment represents a separate case and is not related. However, they do share a common thread. That is, individuals who commit these crimes, break laws, and bring harm to our communities. It's difficult to dismantle organizations like this and the multiple layers of criminal conduct, but it is not impossible, as we can see here today. This morning, our law enforcement partners arrested 35 individuals for their alleged involvement in Akron's criminal underground scene. Many of these individuals have prior convictions for crimes such as robbery, drug trafficking, theft, burglary, domestic violence, and even involuntary manslaughter. Many are known career criminals and, as alleged, continue to break laws throughout the region by peddling illegal drugs that harm other people. These deadly and addictive drugs are unfortunately household names. Fentanyl, meth, as we know, have all wrecked the lives of so many people in our communities. Today's announcement is possible due to the extraordinary work of law enforcement to identify, disrupt, and dismantle these drug operations. I'd like to give my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Akron Police Department, the Summit County Sheriff's Office, the Portage County Sheriff's Office, Barberton Police Department, the University of Akron Police Department, and the Ohio Adult Parole Authority. The United States Attorney's Office now takes the baton to prosecute these suspects to the fullest extent of the law. We have a dedicated team of talented assistant U.S. attorneys, paralegals, and legal assistants to see these prosecutions through to the end. It's dangerous work to root out these criminals from our communities. Members of law enforcement involved in these investigations are frontline crime fighters. They're tireless in their mission to curb the flow of drugs and illegal firearms, and for that, we're very grateful. Together, we will continue to work tirelessly to hold those who break our laws accountable. Our second significant announcement today is the opening of the Akron Crime Gun Intelligence Center. This center houses incredible advanced forensic technology to analyze firearms used in crimes like the ones we mentioned earlier today. It helps investigators connect the dots between crimes and links offenders to crime scenes. And with that, I now welcome remarks from Acting Special Agent in Charge, John Smurglia, with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
Good afternoon. Thanks to the U.S. Attorney. Appreciate it. Appreciate the partnership. Good afternoon to all of you. It's a wonderful day to be in Akron. Today, we had a large-scale enforcement operation that is as the result of a 60-day covert operation that was led by ATF in conjunction with our partners, the Akron Police Department, Barberton Police Department, Adult Parole Authority, Portage County Sheriff's Office, Summit County Sheriff's Office, and the University of Akron Police Department. I also want to take a moment to thank the United States Marshal Service, as they were hugely involved in today's operation in the arrest of 35 individuals. And as you can see here on the poster, if you're interested in the folks that were arrested, they're here. And there will be more in the written press release about them specifically. And there are also 7 individuals that were charged prior to today in reference to the initiative. Our initiative began in July of 2025, and the focus was to utilize crime gun intelligence in conjunction with proactive investigation to disrupt violent crime patterns in the city of Akron. We did this by focusing on 5 geographic areas, and those areas were basically put together based on certain metrics. Those metrics being NIBIN-related firearm recoveries, NIBIN-connected shooting incidents, and felonious assaults, which were shootings in the city of Akron. And NIBIN is our National Integrated Ballistics Information Network, and it will be part and parcel to what I discuss in reference to the CJIC. The overall purpose of developing and analyzing the information in advance was to take an intel-led approach at investigating violent crime in the city of Akron. And we did just that. We identified robbers, gang members, armed drug traffickers, violent felons in possession of firearms. And as you can see by looking at these 2 tables, we were able to take into custody 50 firearms. Now, what's significant about these firearms is they are crime guns. They all had a purpose. They all were going to be used in something illicit, something illegal. And so what's not only important about the fact that they're crime guns, but what is most important is that they are now in our custody and they are saved lives. Today's operation is not the end of the story. Actually, today is the beginning of the story for Akron, Summit County, Portage County, and our surrounding areas. Because today is the opening of the Crime Gun Intelligence Center here in Akron. Thanks to our partnership specifically, I want to thank the Chief of Police, and I want to thank our Mayor, because it is their property that they provided to house the Akron Crime Gun Intelligence Center. They were part of the vision to build this and to attack violent crime at its core here in Akron. We will now regularly be able to utilize intelligence in tandem with investigative techniques to proactively investigate violent offenders, violent gangs, firearm traffickers, and those looking to do harm. As the United States Attorney noted, the Crime Gun Intelligence Center equips investigators with specialized ATF resources such as NIBIN correlations, firearms tracing, and shooting link analysis. These tools are extremely important. They help investigators connect the dots. By leveraging advanced technology and real-time analysis, firearm experts, and intelligence analysts, the collaborative approach begins, and we enable a quicker response at removing violent offenders from our streets. The CJIC model simply works. We've utilized it in Cleveland, we've utilized it in Columbus, we've utilized it in Cincinnati, and the outcome is reduced violent crime. And that is what we expect here in the city of Akron. When the chief and the mayor offered the space, we knew this could become a reality here. We knew this would be vital for the region. And again, I thank you both for the opportunity. On the fly, we're going to offer a $2,500 reward. We have 2 outstanding arrests from today. We arrested 35 out of 37 individuals we have active arrest warrants for. Tion Brown, who is charged in the United States District Court, Northern District of Ohio, for drug trafficking violations under Title 841 and 846. We're going to offer a $2,500 reward for anyone that can bring information about Tion Brown to us. And also in reference to Troy Miller, again, charged in the United States District Court, Northern District of Ohio with violations of Title 841, 846. We are offering a $2,500 reward for any information in reference to him, and we'll give that phone number for contact for him and have more information on that on paper after this. But today, as I stand alongside our partners here, I want to send a very clear message. Violence in the city of Akron will not be tolerated. And I look forward to moving this partnership forward. I'd now like to take a moment and introduce Chief Brian Harding.
Afternoon, everybody. As John said, today is a really great day for our community, for the city of Akron. I'm also happy to announce the additional, there'll be, outside of the federal cases, there are 7 people that are charged in Summit County Court. And these are not low-level arrests. These are significant cases that remove dangerous people from our neighborhoods and hold them fully accountable under state law. Christopher Wilkes, Jamil Moore Jr., Ronell Elmore, Zeddy Stone Jr., and Marcus Jackson Jr. have all been charged with aggravated trafficking in drugs, and this is a first-degree felony. Darnell Ingham has been charged with trafficking in fentanyls in F4, trafficking in cocaine in F5, possession of cocaine, trafficking in heroin, and possession of heroin. Gianni Davis has been charged with aggravating trafficking in drugs in F2, aggravated possession of drugs in F2, aggravated trafficking in drugs in F3, and aggravated possession of drugs, another F3. Each of these charges represent a step in the right direction in creating really a safer Akron. I know the mayor and I have been talking about that a lot this year, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again, but this is a step in that direction. Let me also be clear that if you commit violent crime or distribute narcotics in our city, there will be consequences. I want to thank as well all our federal partners, our local partners, that many of them are standing up here today on the stage with us, for their ongoing support, and also our Akron officers. We had a significant number of officers that were in charge or worked on this as well. Collectively, their dedication, commitment, and hard work have made these arrests possible. I really especially do want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office and our partners in the ATF. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible today. I think this collaboration truly does demonstrate the continued commitment to reducing violent crime in our community, and really in the entire community at large, not only outside of Akron. I think it's important to note that people involved in gun crime and narcotics trafficking don't stop at our city borders. And these partnerships are truly vital as we seek to hold them accountable for what they do. And this is just the beginning of our focus, and we'll continue these partnerships to ensure that we create a safer Akron and a safer greater community for all. At this point, I want to take the opportunity to introduce Mayor of City Akron, Shamus Malik.
Good afternoon. Today, local, state, and federal partners took a concrete action to make our community safer, to make Akron safer, to make our surrounding municipalities and counties safer. I want to thank all the folks who are standing here on stage for their agency's efforts. I want to thank a number of other agencies as well. I want to thank all of the members of the Akron Police Department who work hard each and every single day to address gun violence in our community and address crime and violence more broadly. I particularly want to thank Chief Harding and our deputy chiefs for their leadership. This, as Chief Harding said, this would not be possible if not for the unique partnership with ATF and with the United States Attorney's Office. So I want to thank Acting Special Agent Smerglia and our United States Attorney, Mr. Tepfer. This work is something that has been ongoing for the last few years. So in some ways, this is the first step in a new day, but it also is the culmination of a lot of work that has been done over the last few years around our gun violence task force. But the creation of the Crime Gun Intelligence Center takes that work to a next level, and we will keep pushing forward to address violence in our community. As the Chief said, violence will not be tolerated, and safety, I've said many times, is our first priority, and we will not rest. The folks arrested today were trafficking in weapons illegally, they were trafficking in drugs illegally, and they were facilitating violence in our community. And people doing that in our community, we will work as hard as we possibly can. We will bring every resource we possibly can to hold them accountable and to make this community safer. Again, I want to thank everyone who was involved. I want to note that, there are a lot of aspects of safety. This is a key aspect. We have a lot of work that we're doing around community violence intervention, around violence prevention. But the accountability piece, the piece represented today, is an essential part. And again, I want to thank the members of our police department. And then the final thing that I would say is that this can't happen without local, state, and federal partnership. And this is a perfect example of how local, state, and federal partners can and should work together. So I look forward to broadening and deepening those partnerships to address violent crime in our community.
At this time, we'll open up the floor for questions. I'll start to my left, and we'll work around. We'll allow each outlet to ask at least one question. Okay.
Chief Harding, if I could, please. I know that there have been some very high-profile shooting incidents in Akron in the last several years. The mass shooting at a party, the gathering of kids outside of a school. Do any of these suspects have any ties to any of those, or are those still cases that you'd like help trying to resolve?
Those are absolutely cases we'd still like help trying to solve. There may be some relationship with a weapon or two involved here, but we're absolutely still looking at those cases. There's still active investigations. We have our tip 411 line. If anybody has any leads, we continue to ask for tips in that. I know we put out some press and some photos in the past. Specifically, we could put it out again today with one specific person we continue still looking for or help identifying. But yes, those are still active cases. Sure.
I'm just trying to understand the logistics of this operation, Double Eagle. From I heard that 35 of these people were arrested this morning, and they're not related, these crimes?
Go ahead. So no, they're not necessarily related.
Did you guys schedule this press conference, like, around, it seems like if there are 35 cases not related, all the cases were ready to be arrested today?
Correct.
John? I think part of this is that, there's I don't want to speak for the federal partners, but a specific, ability to, bring focused resources at one time to make sure that we're apprehending people, right?
Yeah, I guess what I can say about the operation is, although the cases, the persons that have been indicted and ultimately arrested, they may not be integrated, all of them together in one giant conspiracy, but the operation was focused on certain areas, and all of those folks were dealt with in those areas during the same time periods. So it's really more of a time period than it is one conspiracy, if that makes sense. They're all involved in criminal acts during a certain time period.
I guess my thought is, like, surely some of these people would be ready to be arrested a month ago, or certainly some of these people, the cases might not be fully ready. It's just interesting to me that 35 happened in one morning that press conference was held.
Well, I think there's a lot that goes into that, Doug. I think part of it is you talk about cases, and it's important that we have a strong case and we're ready to make a case when we go to do that. And so every case is unique and different, but I would say a lot of this came together recently, and so we try to do it at the same time. And if there is relationship between different people, timing is important as well, right? If you start to take down one person related to somebody else early, it can impact another case. So timing is really critical when we do criminal investigations.
How many officers and agents were used to do all this in one day?
I think we estimated probably about 250 this morning.
And can someone talk about, NIBIN is used, like, can connect weapons to crime scenes. What does the gun center do differently, or what does that add?
Well, what the Crime Gun Intelligence Center will do is it takes different pieces of crime gun intelligence. So where we may have casing recoveries, like you just have the casings from bullets recovered, or you just have a gun recovered, you get different pieces and parts of the puzzle that you put together to then give a bigger picture to the investigator. So if you have a casing recovered, we may be able to put that casing and attach that to another shooting. The casings match. which is connecting the dots. Or we may get a gun and we connect a casing to a gun, so we can say, all right, this shooting is related to this casing, but it's also related to this gun that was recovered from this individual. So those things, in addition to things like E-trace, if we recover a firearm and we trace it back to the original purchaser, and then other pieces and parts of intelligence that we put together. The purpose of the Crime Gun Intelligence Center is really to take as much intelligence as we can gain, and put together a picture for the investigator, so the investigator can move more quickly and even at times proactively before a new crime occurs. So basically we're moving quicker, and it gives us an ability to be more efficient.
I'd like to add just one thing to that. We've talked in the past about our gun violence response team and some of the partners we have. I think it's also important to know that when those investigators are together, so if that's someone from the Sheriff's Department, from the University of Akron, Barberton, Portage County, we can be together in one area. So if they have information that links, like I mentioned before, gun crime doesn't stop just in the city border. It can be related to something that occurs in a community outside of ours. And having those partnerships in the room allows us to work quickly together to put those pieces together. Maybe a piece that somebody had in a suburban jurisdiction, a piece with what we have there to build a case that comes more together as part of that.
Where is it actually physically going to be, this center?
It's going to be housed in the city of Akron. We're going to kind of keep it at an location currently, but thank you.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss that.
Yep, no, it's going to be housed in the city of Akron. Thanks. Yep.
Can I ask a quick follow-up, too? Do you just have like an estimate of how much quicker you're going to be able to put some of these things together, like based on the other intelligence centers, like in the?
So I can speak locally a little bit. John probably can speak a little bit more than me on some of the national stuff. But an IBRNS hit in the past may have taken us 7 to 14 days to get it in, get it processed, get an entry, and get the information back. So we could be looking at 2-week-old more stale information. Now we're down closer to 3 days. Our goal standard is to try to get that under 2 days. So we can get those relationships and those hits a lot quicker. And I think, you're welcome. I think I covered okay, but you're welcome if you have something to add.
I'm good with you.
Great, thanks.
We'll take one more question.
In reference to the crime gun intelligence centers in Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, what are the statistics in terms of how those have impacted crime, and how do we know that those centers are the reason crime has gone down and not just a general decline since COVID?
That's a great question. I don't have the statistics handy, so I can't give you that answer.
Yeah, I think we could just take this for 1 second. I think that I don't think anyone here is claiming that this is the sole reason why crime declines or making those quantitative claims. I think what we're saying is that it is incontrovertibly true that when you focus resources in one place, you get better at addressing issues, right? And so, to have the ability to, run all of these guns and test them and see if they match any of the shell casings that are already in the system, to have representatives from Portage County, Summit County, from City of Akron, from our shared municipalities all in one room, to say, hey, we've been testing these shell casings every 7 days. We need to push ourselves to test to be able to test it, something that day, because we know crime guns are used in very quick succession. And so, I would say that it is there is a clear argument for it. We're not saying here, this will decrease crime by X percentage. What we are saying is that we are bringing every possible resource to bear in reducing violence in the city of Akron and our surrounding communities.
Is that the common thread with all of these cases, that this technology, this data, this analysis led to all of these predicate cases that we're seeing the arrests of today?
So no, what the technology led to was how we started the initiative. The areas that we were looking for that we knew had a preponderance of violence. We knew that the areas that we were looking and the areas we were investigating, we used, intelligence such as NIBIN hits on casings, NIBIN hits on guns, and, other markers of analytics to basically put together to be able to provide us the areas that we knew were, your so-called hot spots of violence. So it would be the technique in analyzing from the beginning, but not necessarily connecting each of these cases.
Hey, I'm sorry. That's going to conclude today's press conference. Some of the individuals on stage may be available for comments afterwards. We appreciate everyone for coming out. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Those guns are relevant to that charge.